Just like there's a long list of liberal celebrities who swear they'll go if a Republican is elected, and no one ever does. Miley Cyrus once said, "I am moving. If Trump is my president, I don't say things I don't mean." Here she is looking miserable, having to endure America at the Grammys last Sunday. I guess she flew back from Tajikistan. Bill Maher is calling out woke celebrities, and his take is absolutely hilarious. The comedian and talk show host has a knack for skewering the contradictions of Hollywood, and this time he's focusing on the stars who loudly promote certain ideals while conveniently avoiding any personal consequences. Watching him dismantle the self-righteousness of fame is both entertaining and strangely satisfying. In 2016, Eddie Griffin said, "If Trump wins, I'm moving to Africa." Apparently very slowly, because in Trump's 4 years, he only got as far as New York. George Lopez once said that if Trump won, he won't have to worry about immigration. We'll all go back. George Lopez still here. Maher's latest roast reminds us that it's been a while since he truly went after Hollywood, so fans are expecting some sharp, no-holds-barred commentary. He targets those who preach moral or political stances, yet live in a bubble far removed from the real-world implications of their words. The result is a mix of biting humor and pointed critique that's classic Ma. Funny, unapologetic, and thought-provoking all at once. In Russia, just referring to the war in Ukraine, as it can get you 15 years in the fabulous prisons made famous by some of the world's most famous novels. You think America's evil because we didn't nominate Margot Robbie for an Oscar? Just wait till you get thrown out the window of your very own dream house. Amidst the laughs, Ma also raises questions about political messaging that seems confusing or contradictory. For instance, his take on campaigns that say, "Vote for me because I hate it here," points out the absurdity of promoting yourself by criticizing the very system you want to lead. It's a clever observation that blends comedy with insight, leaving audiences both amused and a little unsettled. And I'm confused by this political message. Vote for me because I hate it here. Now, does America have big problems? Yes. I've often cited the America sucks list. Things like being 54th in the world in infant mortality behind Cuba, 19th in literacy behind Russia, 72nd in female representation, and government behind Iraq. A lot of work to do here. And is it possible for a country to lose itself so much that leaving it is justified? Yes, but we're not there yet. Not by a long shot. And we don't need quitters. We need people who will stay and fix it. Bill Maher began the segment with a pointed warning to America's celebrities and progressive politicians. They shouldn't lecture the public on solving national issues if they're not prepared to do the work themselves. Maher argued that it's simple to sit in lavish homes, removed from everyday struggles, and make grand pronouncements about necessary changes. Yet words alone mean little. Without effort, sacrifice, or commitment, one is merely another voice contributing to the clamor. Ma emphasized that America remains a great nation. Imperfect, certainly, but enduring. And if progress is a goal, endless complaining, blame shifting, or showy activism won't suffice. What the country requires is engagement. People ready to take initiative, address challenges, and assume responsibility rather than relying on others to bear the burden. Maybe the problem isn't that America isn't worth defending. Maybe the problem is that lots of people today are entitled whiners who have no perspective and no idea how good they have it. 59% of self-identified liberals say there have been times when they considered leaving America for good, like after NBC canceled The West Wing. This may sound exaggerated, but it reflects reality. Over time, numerous Americans have loudly proclaimed they would leave the country over the slightest provocation. One of the most notable waves occurred after Donald Trump was elected president. Suddenly, both celebrities and ordinary citizens claimed they'd relocate to Canada, treating it as a daring form of protest. Naturally, very few ever followed through. It doesn't end there. Some have threatened departure simply because the country rejected certain fashionable ideologies, often ideas that defy basic logic. Rather than contributing to the nation they live in, they daydream about escape. Maher's message is clear. True patriotism isn't about grand gestures or threats. It means staying, confronting problems directly, and working to strengthen America. I don't get it. You want so badly for every immigrant to come to this country, and experience a good life, but somehow it's so terrible you want to leave. And I see conservatives in Texas are talking secession again. They have 2 bumper stickers in that state. America, love it or leave it, and we're leaving it. Exactly. Celebrities and politicians often send conflicting messages that leave their supporters bewildered. On one hand, they advocate for America to welcome more people, portraying the country as a land of opportunity. Yet immediately after, they proclaim their shame in the nation and threaten to leave if things don't go their way. Consider the contradiction. If America is so awful, why urge others to come here? And if it truly embodies freedom and opportunity, why threaten abandonment every election cycle? This isn't conviction or courage. It's pure hypocrisy. Ma hit the mark by highlighting that this kind of contradictory talk reveals just how shallow and self-interested their so-called activism really is. There's a long list of liberal celebrities who swear they'll go if a Republican is elected, and no one ever does. Miley Cyrus once said, "I am moving if Trump is my president. I don't say things I don't mean." Here she is looking miserable, having to endure America at the Grammys last Sunday. Well, here's the ironic part. Despite all their dramatic threats, most of these celebrities remain in America, enjoying the comforts and freedoms they claim to loathe. Deep down, they know no other country can match the platform, opportunities, or luxuries America provides. So why make grand pronouncements about leaving if Trump ever won? The answer is clear. It was never about true conviction. It was about appearances, virtue signaling, and capitalizing on outrage culture. These over-the-top displays make them seem courageous to their audience. But when the cameras stop rolling, they stay put, reveling in the wealth and fame only America can offer. Ma cuts through the pretense, revealing the truth. It's not bravery, it's performance. And the only thing they're truly loyal to is their own image. I guess she flew back from Tajikistan. In 2016, Eddie Griffin said, "If Trump wins, I'm moving to Africa." Apparently, very slowly, because in Trump's 4 years, he only got as far as Van New York. George Lopez once said that if Trump won, he won't have to worry about immigration. We'll all go back. George Lopez still here. And it doesn't look like the migrant traffic is going back. This is precisely why I can't take celebrities seriously when they lecture the rest of us on politics or morality. Their lives are worlds apart from ours. They're protected by the fortunes they've amassed, living in gated estates, flying private jets, and knowing they could build a palace anywhere if life here ever became inconvenient. Meanwhile, ordinary Americans face real struggles. Mortgages that haunt our nights, rent that drains our paychecks, and the daily challenge of putting food on the table. That's the stark contrast for us. Politics isn't a platform for showing off. It's about survival. That's why we pay attention to political leaders who grapple with policies that directly affect our lives rather than celebrities whose notion of hardship is choosing a luxury resort for vacation. Their lectures simply don't hold weight. Then there's all the TikToks telling Americans things like, "I think the new American dream is to leave. I'm 18 years old, and I escape America." Yeah, you don't have to escape America. That wall we're always debating isn't keep you in. Now, this is where it really becomes absurd. Some of these so-called social justice warriors behave as if America is on par with North Korea, as though people here are trapped with no way out. The irony is almost unbearable. The truth is, no one is rushing to move to North Korea to build a life, raise a family, or chase their dreams. Quite the opposite. North Korea is a prison state where freedom is non-existent, and its citizens risk everything just to flee. Meanwhile, the United States, the very nation these activists criticize relentlessly, remains the top destination for people worldwide. Why? Because America, despite its imperfections, provides opportunities, safety, and freedom like nowhere else. Maher's point hits home. If America is truly so terrible, why is the entire world clamoring to get in rather than leave? The New Republic just ran a story about the vulnerable minorities who want to flee America, including the author, a gay man trapped in the dystopian homophobic hellscape that is New York City. I wonder if he knows that there are 66 countries where just being gay is a crime. Cute story in the news last month. Bundy's president called on his citizens to stone gay people and not in a good way. Wow, Suddenly, the don't say gay law doesn't sound all that bad. When it comes to the LGBTQ plus community, the truth is clear. America is their sanctuary. It's hard to imagine anywhere else where they would feel safer, more respected, or more accepted than here, in the U.S. They benefit from legal protections, political and media representation, and the freedom to live openly in ways unimaginable in many other nations. They have platforms to voice their perspectives, communities to belong to, and rights secured by law. So why the ongoing talk of leaving? Where else could offer more freedom? Even Europe, often seen as more progressive, still grapples with violence, discrimination, and policies that fall short of full inclusion. The reality is that despite its flaws, America remains one of the safest and most empowering places for LGBTQ plus people. Maher's point is unmistakable. Everything they need is already here. And Uganda, oh, they don't just give you a ticket for parking in the rear. You can get the penalty for it. In China, they have the penalty for almost 50 crimes. And in 13 countries, atheism is punishable by death. And 61 impose restrictions on women's clothing. So bring a scarf. According to Amnesty International, paramilitary groups kill the government's critics in Argentina, Brazil, Colombia, Venezuela, and arbitrary detentions are widespread in Cuba, Ecuador, Salvador, Nicaragua. If you're wondering how that's just like no cash bail, it's not. This is precisely why more than half the world dreams of moving to America. People from every corner of the globe aspire to build a life here because of the freedoms this country offers. The freedom to speak openly without fear of government retaliation. The freedom to pursue any career and chase opportunity. And even the chance for financial independence if they're willing to work for it. That's the American promise.